My name's Amariah Condon, and you're watching Beyond Saugus. I'm here at the Franklin Park Zoo in Boston, Massachusetts, and there's so much here to see, it's taken me 2 whole days to film it. Hi, my name is Amariah Condon. I'm traveling to exciting locations around the greater Boston area, and I'm bringing my camera with me. Franklin Park Zoo is a 72-acre site nestled in Boston's historic Franklin Park, long considered the crown jewel of Frederick Law Olmsted's Emerald Necklace Park System. Olmsted designed a park system for Boston in 1867. Starting from the Boston Commons and the Gardens, he designed the necklace to include Commonwealth Ave, the Fenway, Jamaica Pond, the Arnold Arboretum, and then the end at the entrance of Franklin Park Zoo. The giraffe entrance opens to the interior of Franklin Park and is framed by 2 marble statues designed by Daniel Chester French, which were installed in 1928. Last year, the Franklin Park Zoo celebrated its 100th birthday. I'm here at the Franklin Park Zoo with Dave Karen, Development Officer, and he's taking us on a tour of the Tropical Rainforest Building.
I've been here for 20 years at Zoo New England. We run both Franklin Park Zoo as well as the Stone Zoo right around Boston. And my first 16 years here were spent in animal care, worked in various positions through that, taking care of the animals. And then a few years ago I switched over to development, which is our fundraising part, trying to raise money and get the message out of all the exciting things we do here at the zoo. So that's what I do now. So yeah, it's an exciting building you guys are going to visit now, so we can head on in and see some animals.
Head sculpture, and the artist is here with us, Bob Bliss. Bob, can you raise your hand? I'll say hi to everybody. His wife Karen has been instrumental in making this happen. She cracks the whip on Bob all the time. And their friend Ada has helped to make it. Ada has helped to make it possible financially. She helps support it. This is not an inexpensive undertaking, so it's been a real team effort. And I was hoping we would have one other key player here, which is Brandy Baechman, one of our gorilla keepers who knows Bob and threw him into the zoo and got him interested, and Bob's been a great friend ever since. Some plaques we're unveiling that will sort of convey some of this and our purpose behind it. And I'm very excited to have them. We have many reasons for doing things like this. We want to integrate the arts into the experience of enjoying and understanding animals. But we also want people with limited abilities, whether it be sight or hearing or any number of other constraints they may face, to have an opportunity to really enjoy the zoo. And that was one of our primary thoughts behind having Bob do this piece. So on the plaque as well, there is Braille, and we've had a number of people who have participated in programs for sight-impaired people, but this is one more facet that's going to bring the zoo into focus for them. It's going to give them the ability to enjoy it just a little bit more. So I'm really excited about it. Thank you all for coming out on such a miserable day. Not exactly your great zoo day, but as the experts in here know, it's never a bad day in the tropical forest. So no matter what the weather outside, this is great. So I believe we're ready to do it. Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. A little bit brighter than the older one. That's up here.
right now?
So we're right in front of our Baird's Taper exhibit. This is a female Abby. She's the mother of the young one you see there. And that young one was actually born in June of this year. So she's only roughly 4 to 5 months old now. And when she was born, she was 20 pounds. She's now close to 200 pounds. Wow. So she's growing quickly. She's a big girl. Her mother actually weighs 700 pounds. So she has a ways to go. But when they're born, they actually look like deer fawns. So they're reddish in color and they have stripes and spots. I don't know if you can see that there, but she still has some of her spots. Generally within about 6 months they lose their spots and they start to look like their parents. And the reason they have that is for camouflage. Just like a deer fawn in the rainforest, they'll basically lay in the leaf litter and they blend in and stay perfectly still while the mother goes off to feed. So they're really interesting animals, very primitive form of hoofstock. Even though they look kind of like an elephant with the little trunk they have there, they're actually closely related to horses and rhinos. Just if you zoom in, you can see her stripes and spots there. There's still left. Normally she's, like really when they're born, they are chestnut red, really beautiful, very light colored, and then they'll start to disappear by 6 months. So she's grown the quickest of all of them we've ever had. We've had 3, she's the 4th one we've had.
Franklin Park Zoo preserves some of the world's critically endangered wildlife. Some animals include the Amur leopard, ocelot, the western lowland gorilla, and the Bactrian camel.
So Dave, do you want to explain to me the anteater and how it eats and like the tongue? And
Sure. This is Giacomo. He's a giant anteater. He's been at the zoo now for about 4 years. They're the largest species of anteater in the world. And they range from Central America through South America. And what we were just demonstrating here was we have a feeding tube that we basically demonstrate how they eat. And they don't have any teeth, so they have a bony plate, and they have a very long sticky tongue that they use to get the termites or the ants out of their little places, whether it be a termite mound or holes in logs. In this case, what we were showing you was a clear tube so everyone could see it. The tongue is covered with sticky saliva, which sticks to the ants or the insects, and it helps them pull it out. And in the wild, they eat about 30,000 insects a day. You'll notice our tube there, we had mealworms, which happens to be a personal favorite of his. We can't possibly replicate the 30,000 insects they eat a day. So what there is a manufactured diet that actually a company makes that gives them all the nutrients that they need for their daily, to get through the day. And so we'll basically supplement with that. It has to be something they like, and as you can tell, he actually loves it. So, but in the wild, there's actually in the rainforests of South America and Central America, you actually have 3 species. You have the giant anteater who's terrestrial. He's on the ground, and he's basically the pest control on the ground. Then you have a tamandua, which is one that's a little smaller, about half the size, has a prehensile tail, and they're up in the trees. And there's a tiny one called a fairy armadillo that goes to the edges of the branches of the trees where the tamandua can't get to because he's too heavy. So you really have pest control on every level of the rainforest. So you can see how they've all fit in these little niches, and they all have plenty of food for themselves if they survive. So
sounds like you like anteaters.
I do like anteaters, yeah, very much so. Good. This is one of our 2 mandrills here. We have a pair. This is our male here. The males, they're fairly large. They can get up to about 100 pounds. While they look like baboons, very colorful baboons, they're actually kind of in between a baboon and another species of African primate called a mangabey. And they're actually closer related to that species. If you notice his coloration, not all males get that colorful. It's generally the dominant males get that colorful. And the other males will have dull coloration. And the male has a very bright face, but he also has a bright rear end as well, lots of colors. And essentially what that is it's like wearing a t-shirt that's two-sided that says, "I'm number one." So any males will know that when they look at him from his face, or if they look from behind, not to mess with him. So it's basically a safety feature that the dominant male has to let everyone else know in the group who's the top male. And again, when you're in a dark rainforest, you see kind of he's hiding out there behind the trees there. They live in very thick rainforest. So bright colors is a way to sort of visually give messages to other primates in the area. In this case, particularly their own group, or other rival groups as well. You always know who's the dominant mandrill. And it's interesting, the difference between the sexes, it's the largest difference as far as size-wise goes between the male and the female. The males can be over 100 pounds, the females can only be 30 pounds. In fact, when we're here, when the female's out with him on exhibit, a lot of times people think it's his baby, she's so small. But that's how big they are in the wild as well. So you see how much smaller she is. He's actually a fairly petite male. I think he's only about 70 pounds, and she's a pretty good sized female. So imagine if he was 100 pounds, she'd even be smaller, which is pretty much an average size of a male. The male mandrills can be quite large. Our last male here, I believe, was 115 pounds. He was a big, big male. Very tall male. And the grooming thing is not necessarily picking off bugs. They probably don't have any bugs, but it is the actual, it's a social behavior. So they actually like it. It would be like, you know, combing it's combing someone's hair, basically. So, and it actually is a thing that builds up the bond between the two. That's a great example of the difference between them, the two sexes. The males are very large, very colorful. Females have a little bit of color, but not nearly as much.
I'm here with Patricia and Katie, and they're working on the mural in A Bird's World. So I was just wondering if you could tell me a little about how you got involved and how you came up with the idea to paint the bamboo forest in the background.
The zoo asked us if we would volunteer to paint a mural in this room. We are from an art studio in Boston called Kaji Aso Studio in the Fenway, and we said yes, we would do that, and we presented a few ideas to the zoo, which they didn't like, and then we finally hit on bamboo forest, and they said yes, we like that. So bamboo forest with birds in it. So about 5 artists have been painting since March, so that's almost 6 months to put the bamboo forest in. And now another 4 or 5 artists are coming in to paint the birds in the forest. And we hope to finish soon. We're in the final stages. The zoo said it had to be authentic birds that inhabit bamboo forest. So these are all authentic bamboo forest birds. They did allow us to mix bamboo forest birds from Asia and South America because they're different, but they said that's okay, you can put them in as long as they're bamboo forest birds. And they have to be actual size, actual color. They have to be in the forest the way they actually go. So down here we have a pheasant because they walk on the ground. Here we have a egret going in with 3 babies in a nest, and they build their nest in the low bushes under the forest, so that has to be down there. So it has to be accurate. That was the zoo's stipulation.
My first painting experiences were actually drawing in class when I was in elementary school, where we had slanted desks, and while the teachers tried to teach me history, which was hopeless, I would draw horses. And that was I did that for a number of years till I changed schools. And then actually I didn't paint much until after I got out of college, and I just got drawn to it. I loved the fact that there was a surface where you could put some of your internal world out there and it would stay there. It was really remarkable. And so I started painting, but I came to the studio many years ago and got to know Patricia, and she said she had this project at the zoo. One of my other interests has always been calligraphy, so I said, oh, I'll letter the signs for you. So that's what I did here. And then also I had this idea, I thought, well, we shouldn't just have it the same time of day, maybe we can have nighttime and then afternoon. And so I got to work on this moon, which you can't see very well because the lighting probably, but anyway, I was very excited about a bamboo forest at night and then in the day. So that was our thought about this. Everybody should paint, really. It's a wonderful way. You won't see a blank wall without thinking about how to put a mural on it if you just start painting.
What would you like the public to know about the Franklin Park Zoo?
Franklin Park is as both our zoos, Stone Zoo as well. It's just a wonderful place to bring the family. We do some amazing work here behind the scenes, as well as stuff that people can see. It's sort of an underutilized resource in the Boston area, and I think it's a good, our attendance has been going up every year, and we're really getting our message out of how much of a wonderful place it is. Hopefully, everyone who will see this will come out and really see what some incredible amount of animals we have here at the park. So.
All right, Dave, thank you for a wonderful tour.
Thank you for coming.
So that's just a piece of the Franklin Park Zoo. Thanks for watching Beyond Saugus.
And don't forget to visit the zoo. It's just beyond Saugus.